What up, vlog people? Check it out. The studio is almost brand new. I finished the tidying and the unpacking, and I can finally show you what it looks like. As finished as it's gonna get for now. The big difference is, of course, that there was boxes and stuff all strewn around. This was kind of like I set it up just enough to get going with the first work I had to do, and just kind of left it from there. So now here I am with it all like much tidier, and just feels nicer to be in here and feel like, more creative. And so here I'm talking to you with the vlog here because I haven't done a vlog in a couple days, and it's some crazy stuff's been happening the last couple days. And I was thinking a lot about what I wanted to say on this vlog channel with regards to it, because I know something that's on a lot of people's minds, and we're all thinking of it, and our hearts and our prayers are with the people of Paris, France. But I feel like I saw it happen back in 2001, in September 2001, that while it's all kind of still happening and has just happened, there's so many kind of people that feel like they have a stake in kind of trying to crystallize in their own mind and for other people what exactly happened, and kind of what the official story is, or just what the story that we're all going to buy into is. And I think that it's good to take a little bit of time to think about who has what to gain, and to just not even try to on a assigning blame or punishing anybody way of thinking of it, just more just a way of kind of knowing how to file it in your head and what to do with that information, and wonder what is a world that we live in that would have that go on. But what did come to mind, and one thing that I wanted to share with you, it comes from my time when I was working on a cruise ship. And I'm kind of I wouldn't say that I'm Christian, but I would say that I'm in the Christian tradition, much like Western civilization. The Bible is sort of central to it. Now, I do have a bit of a small history with it, in that my grandfather, he opened a church. The family has no religious background, but my grandfather, in his older age, found Jesus and opened up a non-denominational church in the crack ghetto of Vancouver, BC, Canada, on Hastings Street. And apparently everybody knew him around the neighborhood as the Reverend. And so with that kind of be my background, and my mom having a very unique approach, all that stuff, I'll be happy to tell you about another time. So kind of not so much God or any kind of church's idea of God, but just the idea of there are these mysterious forces, and that there is magic in the world and stuff like this, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the background. But with that said, I still do have a connection to sort of the Christian tradition, in so much as it's all about, the whole message of it is supposed to be love each other. Everything will be fine as long as you have love in your heart. So when I was working on the cruise ship, and one of my colleagues was telling me that, oh, you want to impress the bosses, here's what you do. You do the church service on Sunday, because we had the interdenominational service on Sunday mornings. And so she was like, yeah, if you want to impress the bosses, you do the Sunday service, because, it's great mic experience, and also looks good to the bosses, because who wants to get up on Sunday morning? I thought, that's horrible. No way. My grandfather would never stand for that. So I informed the bosses, didn't ask them, informed them. I was taking over the church, went to my colleague Jacinta and said, hey, church, you don't got to worry about it anymore. I'm doing it now. Took the materials, the binder full of songs we're going to sing, and the Bible verses I'm supposed to read, heave it, and do my own thing. And what I did with that kind of spot is I basically treated it as my weekly opportunity to sort of dive into what I was learning about it, because now that I put myself in that position, I thought I should get to know what this is about, not from any perspective of what some established power structure says it's about, but let me just dive into it for myself, being that it is so central to where our culture comes from. It plays such a big role in the development of civilization. Let's just get to know, a bit of the ins and outs of it. So I just started at the beginning of the New Testament, right? Because the whole point of the Old Testament, to my understanding, my then limited understanding, was that what is in the New Testament is supposed to just cancel out what's in the Old Testament, right? Okay, so I'll start with the Old, and then if I need to, I'll go back to the New. Well, I read basically the first 5 or 6 books of the New Testament, and that was enough to kind of get a sense of this like story of this dangerous revolutionary who lived in the time of a corrupt political system. And his whole message was that no matter how horrible these people are, and no matter what these people threaten you with or think they can do to you, if you have love in your heart, even for them, if you have love so strong that no one can ever take it from you, then you've conquered all. And that's the only happiness you'll ever have in this life, is to put others before yourself. And anything that's gotten piled up on top of that is just, people doing what people are going to do. So that when I'm reading, this story about this revolutionary that I'm talking about, and I'm looking at, oh my God, like this is talking about now. Like this is a guy who's coming from the ghetto, or he's coming from some part of society that nobody really takes seriously and nobody's paying attention to. And he's telling people the truth in amongst, a corrupt government system and a church structure that's designed to keep people brainwashed and enslaved. It's like, this wasn't written 2,000 years ago. This is for today. And so this is sort of what my attitude was. So I know this vlog is running a little long, but bear with me here. There was one particular a cruise. It was a week-long cruise, right? So one particular cruise, a guy had called ahead and said that he was from such and such. He ran such and such church in Middle America, and he wanted to do the service on Sunday. Okay, great. I'm still going to go there because I'm going to check him in and greet him and all that kind of stuff. And that was the same week where there was basically a convention for Buddhist monks was happening up like in the upper decks of the ship, and they're all like practicing chants and prayers and stuff out in the middle of the ocean. And that's also the same week as a woman named Esther Hicks, whose whole shtick is that she is, and I don't say shtick disrespectfully, I just mean like her whole kind of deal is that she channels a non-physical entity that has a name that our brains are not designed to be able to pronounce, but the closest we can come to being able to pronounce it is that its name is Abraham. So this woman channels Abraham and allows people to like ask him questions through her, and his whole thing is that he comes from like the other end of space to bring you a message of peace and love, right? So just when this Christian priest who was taking over the church that week asked me to come up and say a few words, I was okay, great. And my message was all about like, how can you believe in coincidence? How can you not believe that like there's such thing as destiny, and that mysterious forces are at work, and all of this awesome stuff that religion talks about? How can you not believe in any of that in the face of like that this would, what are the odds that this would just happen to the week when this Christian minister is here at the same time as these Buddhists are up here, at the same time as Esther Hicks is there channeling Abraham from the other side of the universe? And this was kind of my like, this is how great is this? Like, 'cause my whole attitude about like religion and stuff is that they're all, it all is about like one figure who has that same revelation that like, as long as you have love in your heart, you can get away with anything, you can do anything and whatever. Even when they try to make an example of you and put you to death, if you can still have love for them, that's where the whole forgive them because they know not what they do, where that comes from, right? I'm starting to kind of babble in a few directions, but I'm going somewhere, I promise. So that's my approach, right? That the message is the same. It's just we argue about this particular expressions of it in language, but when you take the language away and it's just the abstract, just the pure idea, like before it's ever tried to have words, before anybody thinks to try to turn it into words, that initial impulse, that feeling, that thought is the same in each case. Well, no, because this guy from the Middle American church, he was like offended at this idea, because as far as he's concerned, his whole take on it is that like, you have to the whole like, have to accept Jesus Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, otherwise you can't get saved, and no matter how good a person you are, it's not going to work, and all this kind of stuff. So we had a disagreement. So we actually met up in the middle of an afternoon. We met in the buffet when it was between meals, and had a nice little table to ourselves. And I swear to God, 90 minutes we were sitting at that table trying to like circle around, like what is the fundamental disagreement that we were having? Because I was on the side of saying like that my whole view of religion is that you get Jesus and Buddha and Allah and Albert Einstein and just like everybody who's got something to say on this whole matter of like, what is the universe? What are we here for? All those kinds of, anybody who's like made a mark answering the question or trying to answer the question, right? You put all of that in the middle, and you take out everything that is squabbled up, we're squabbling over, and you get down to the fundamental root of what we're all saying that's in common. And now, armed with that, we use this brand new thing called the internet to go out and spread the word, right? You love each other, and nobody can ever do anything to you. If you have love in your heart, anything you want is yours, and you're already heaven is here now if you have love in your heart, right? Well, no. Because the other, where he comes from is, and as we said to me, that nobody at that table has a thing to say in that conversation until such time that each one of them has accepted Jesus Christ as their personal Lord and Savior. So that was where we just couldn't get past, and we shook hands and said a prayer together, and that was that. And I'm sure he's bringing love into the world in his own way. And that's sort of what kind of this whole telling the story was about. Was kind of, it all kind of dovetails around to being kind of my commentary on not just the Paris situation, but any situation like this, is that the default mode for how we operate in this society should be based on like, caring for your neighbor, and making sure that that your immediate community is that you're doing something for them and giving back, or that just this whole idea of the love thy neighbor. It's just that simple. And I feel like the litmus test for like any idea that like purports to be good, or a system of governance, or how to run society is kind of based on that. Well, is it love thy neighbor, or is it fighting, and is it disagreements, and is it disharmony? And I think that we, in our kind of culture here, we've been so conditioned to just kind of be all like this, and that everything is about bring everything to me and only show me what I want to see, and trying to arrange the world so we can be safe from any ideas that contradict. We don't want to have to think, and we don't want to have to get up off our ass. Bring everything to me. All the apps we got and all the conveniences that we have. It's all about bring everything to me, and don't make me have to think. I think enough wherever, right? So I think if we all took a second to think about what's going on all around us, and maybe even just turn the TV off or put your phone on flight mode for an hour once, and just see what happens and see what good ideas you come up with. But at any rate, just picture me back when George Bush went on TV and announced that he was going into Iraq, and me just having, what can you do in the face of that? You're so powerless in a situation like that, and I think how a lot of us feel when we hear about Paris. We're so just kind of, what can we do? And really all you can do, and this is what I was saying the whole way along, at the end of the day, all you can do is be confident and walk in faith that your creativity is bringing positive energy into the world and counteracting whatever hate and negative energy is out there. So picture me when George Bush was announcing he's going into Iraq, going out on the balcony of the place I was living just then with an acoustic guitar and doing what I can to bring and light and love into the world, and singing, all you need is love. Dun, 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 dun. All you need is love. Dun, 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 dun.